It is Independence Day in Hamilton, Ohio, and you are watching TV Hamilton's coverage of the 56th Annual 4th of July Parade, presented by the Michael J. Colligan Fund at the Hamilton Community Foundation and the 4th of July Committee. Hi, everybody. I'm Ty Bradshaw.
And I'm Steve Colwell.
We are glad to have you here watching coverage of the parade, and this year's parade theme is celebrating Hamilton's history with its great neighborhoods. 17 strong neighborhoods here in Hamilton, and we'll be celebrating each and every one of them throughout today's parade. The 4th of July Parade in Hamilton has been in existence since July 4th of 1962 and was started by the Altrusa Club of Hamilton. Cash prizes will be awarded to floats that best carry out the theme of this year's parade. And Steve, we have over 100 units in the parade, five high school marching bands, the Shriners Antique Caravan, always a fan favorite, and we've got fire trucks, dance groups, and those who just love a parade, and many surprises coming your way. All right, Steve, are you ready to get started?
Let's get this show on the road.
We begin today's parade, as we always do every 4th of July, with the Hamilton Police Department and the Boy Scouts carrying the Michael J. Colligan Fund. Riding along with the Hamilton Police Department, World War II Navy veteran Craig Rupert. He's also a retired member of the Hamilton Police Department. Rupert and all of our veterans will be honored in today's parade, and we are so excited to have them here now. Coming into the square, we've got the City of Hamilton Fire Division Honor Guard.
Boy, what a sharp-looking group that those men and women, I believe, are.
Yes, absolutely. They have dressed to the nines, and a great round of applause from a huge crowd that's gathered here in the square in Hamilton.
I wonder if those wool suits are air conditioned.
And Steve brought it up, so we've got to talk about it. Folks, we always reference the weather because we know those of you who are watching this at home on TV Hamilton are in the luxurious air conditioning, and we have none of that today. This is my 9th parade, Steve. How many is this for you?
1991. You can help me do the math on that.
Well, somebody can, maybe not me, but we have gone from raining to wonderful to moderate, and now we are broadcasting live from the surface of the sun. It is hotter than it has ever been that I can remember. I'm actually not on camera, and the reason for that is because this year I am broadcasting the parade in a tank top and a Speedo. So unfortunately for all the people who are sitting nearby, but look who it is. Local celebrity, law enforcement officer chief. This is the Sheriff, Richard K. Jones. Sheriff Jones, how are you? Sheriff Jones, thank you for your service, and I'm sure you're not hot at all, are you? He's feeling good. Nothing holds a sheriff back. Good to see you, Sheriff Jones.
His uniform must be air conditioned.
I would think so. The sheriff gets the most climate cool uniform possible. Sheriff Jones has got his entire motorcade coming through here. We've got a band with lots of bagpipes, a few more of Sheriff Jones' vehicles. And Steve, I don't know if you saw earlier in the shot, Sheriff Jones actually had a vehicle that has been seized from drug dealers. And what a cool, really, initiative that Sheriff Jones has been able to do is to take all these items that are seized from people who are trying to damage the community and do something good with it. All right, our first marching band, we've got 5 of them coming your way. This is the Hamilton Big Blue. Let's take a listen in.
I know those kids carrying the big blue banner.
And did they still wave to you?
I don't think they did. I think Gracie gave me a dirty look. Mr. Gibson. Mr. Dixon, the band director. Proud to say my son will be marching with them next year.
And how about that? And what instrument does he play?
He will be a trumpet player.
Well, look at that. We could always use a few good trumpet players. That was the Hamilton High School Marching Band. And yes, ladies and gentlemen, they are 5-time Ohio State Band Finals qualifiers. That's 5 times. What an impressive band they are. Lots of students walking here in the parade. Good to see the blue leading things off.
I would say they should have been playing, but since they left from the fairgrounds to get here, I'm sure they're out of wind by this point in time.
It's a little bit warm to be marching with instruments. And Steve, just to give our viewers an idea, how far does the parade go after the camera shot ends?
We go at least one more block, and around the corner, and I don't know how far past the courthouse on Court Street there that it goes before it starts disassembling.
So keep that in mind, folks. These people have been marching. The parade kicks off at about 10. It's about 10:40 by the time they get
That's a good
here
half
to the
hour
square.
before they get to us, or more.
And this is a hot one to be walking in for sure. All right, we've got the Hamilton Fire Department along with a fire truck and a life squad. I am praying that they have the hose turned on. Please, just start spraying people. They won't object. You can always hear them coming. That's the Hamilton Fire Department. And on this July 4th, as we do every single year, we would like to thank the men and women of all of our armed forces, along with the police and fire departments, for keeping us safe each and every day. We are thankful to have such wonderful servants right here in our community.
And here comes the 17 strong group. The theme of today's parade is celebrating Hamilton's 17 neighborhoods.
Yes, it is, Steve. And those 17 Hamilton neighborhoods, just to run through them real quick: Armandale, Dayton Lane, downtown, East End, Enterprise Park, German Village, Highland Park, Jefferson, Lindenwold, Milliken, New London, North End and Fortson Heights, Prospect Hill, Riverview, Rossville, Taft Place, Governor's Hill, and Washington. Cincinnati and the greater Cincinnati area is kind of famous for having all these different local neighborhoods within a particular community, and Hamilton definitely reflects the character of all of those different neighborhoods. And it looks like each of the 17 neighborhoods has a banner here representing their specific community.
Yes, how cool is that? And that was Kathy Klink and Frank Downey carrying the 17 Strong banner.
Absolutely tremendous. And the 17 Strong group has done a lot of work in terms of Hamilton's rebirth and revitalization. They've done a lot of community building and partnerships. So a wonderful job to that entire group. On behalf of everybody at TV Hamilton and the entire city, we thank you for all you're doing to make our community a better place. So the Enterprise Park neighborhood looks to be the last of our 17 Strong contingent. Well, maybe not.
No, we got North End back here.
It just keeps going.
I didn't count. Wait, do that again. Oh, I missed it. She posed for the camera, and I missed it.
Well, it was a beautiful pose nonetheless. So all the more reason for you to come out and see this parade live. There's things you don't get to see on camera, ladies and gentlemen. So we hope you'll join us. And Steve, I honestly worried that it might be a little bit of a lighter crowd just because the heat is so strong, but I drove down Route 4 and then turned onto High Street just so I could get the full effect. I usually come the back way, and just as many people out as there's ever been. Hamilton Dream Center wishing us a happy 4th of July. Glad to have them here with us. And we've still got a few members of the 17 Strong group coming through. I see a banner.
Oh, there's more.
For the German Village. I see another one for Governor's Hill, Taft Place. What great representation they've had today. And look at these cute little youngsters coming down the street here with a banner.
Well, I lost count about 3 in, so I have no idea, but it just keeps going. There's at least 2 more.
Well, and I see some in the distance as well, because those green shirts are pretty recognizable. On a day that's mostly red, white, and blue, you don't see a whole lot of green, so it's great to be able to see that so I can pick them out. A few Mustangs coming through.
Boy, if that's who I think it is, I'll just let anybody in this parade. It is. It's Ian McKenzie Thurley.
Ian, good to see Ian as always.
He won't let me drive his car.
I don't blame him. Ian's done a tremendous job with a lot of the revitalization efforts in terms of the artwork, the murals that you see all throughout the community. You see one in the distant shot that we've got here with TV Hamilton up against the parking garage. And boy, those murals have just been such an impressive addition. And they really pop.
Oh, yes, they do.
Steve, do you have a favorite mural that they've put up so far?
Boy, That's a tough one because I like all of them individually. If I had to pick one, though, if I had to pick one,
Only one.
it would probably be Joe Nuxall.
And you stole mine, Steve. Thievery, yes.
If I had to pick one, but they're all so unique and so different and so fitting for the location that they are each one in.
Yeah, they are all tremendous and so well thought out. The newest mural actually coming to the campus of Miami University Hamilton. They'll be unveiling that on their 50th anniversary, which is coming up this September. They've got a great big celebration planned, and hopefully all of our viewers will be able to join for that. But there's going to be a wonderful, wonderful mural displayed there. But I have to agree with you. I've got a special place in my heart for the Nuxall family, and especially for Joe.
I'm sure that's part of the reason that it's one of my favorites is the subject matter.
Yeah, the man it represents couldn't be any greater, and just a wonderful addition right there on the back of Clark's Sporting Goods. All right, so more members of the 17 Stronger group. The Hamilton Tree Board now coming through with some interesting facts.
I wonder if they get any shade off that little tree.
That thing looks like it could be wilting soon. Our volunteers of the year, Troy and Kathy Schwabel.
Well, there's the Chamber of Commerce riding in style.
Yeah, I hope they've got the air conditioning on in that Bonneville. That is gorgeous. I've never seen that vehicle in our parade, Steve. Vice Mayor of the City of Hamilton, Michael Ryan, coming through the square. Now, if my memory serves me correctly, Michael Ryan is a first-year council member, also the Vice Mayor.
Correct. Disabled American veterans.
And look at these fine men out here on the float, waving and getting their due recognition. And now one of my favorite parts of the entire parade, it's when we recognize our veterans. We've got Lieutenant Terrence C. Graves from the Marine Corps. They're in a beautiful, beautiful truck. Another truck for Terrence C. Graves, Detachment 1330, the Marine Corps League. And now it is our veterans in convertibles. And I'll try to read these names, folks, as best I can. Bear with me. Robert Watson, Montford Point Marine from World War II. And look at the absolutely astounding recognition from the entire crowd accompanied here on the square. We've got Min Turner from the United States Army Air Corps, a veteran from World War II. Thank you for your service, Min.
And I'm sure they received applause all the way down the parade route.
As they should. Nobody is more deserving of this applause than them. We've got Art Solomon from the Army Air Corps, also a veteran from World War II. What an amazing generation that was, Steve.
The greatest.
The United States Army World War II veteran Robert McIntosh. Bill Day from the United States Army, also a World War II veteran with a decked out vehicle there. That is something. Ishmael Clark from the United States Navy, a World War II veteran. I actually know Ish. I think I used to go to church with him, and wonderful to see him there. From the United States Army, World War II, this is Joe Gibson. And he'll be followed by Robert Sears from the United States Army, a veteran of the Vietnam War.
Ooh, look at that Corvette.
That's a beautiful one. My, oh my. None of these guys ever give us an engine rev when they come through. Have you noticed that? Just put that baby in neutral and let's see what it's got, you know? Ray Yorty from the United States Army, a World War II veteran. It's amazing, Steve, to just look around and see people applauding nonstop for all these veterans, giving them the respect, the adoration that each and every one of them deserve. Dennis Owens from the United States Marine Corps, a veteran of the Vietnam War. Steve, there's always a special place in my heart for any of our folks who are coming from the Vietnam War, just because the reception they received nationally when they came home, probably not what it should have been.
Not a good political climate.
Not at all. We've got Carl Smith from the United States Army, a Vietnam War veteran. Darlene Fields, from the Women's Army Corps in the Vietnam War. Darlene, thank you for your service. Terry Young, a veteran as well. Beautiful blue Corvette there. Terry, thank you for your service, sir.
No sign, but that's a beauty of a Corvette. That's
Yes,
about a
it
53
is.
maybe?
Yeah, that's a stunning one. All white. Joe Garrett from the United States Army, a veteran of the Korean War.
I bet all these guys have one thing in common. None of them would let me drive their cars.
And they're all extremely intelligent for not doing so. C.B. Michael, a veteran from the Vietnam era in the United States Air Force. Steve, these Corvettes just keep coming. I'm looking all down High Street and I don't see an end in sight.
Nope. Aaron Cunningham in a Range Rover.
Gotta mix it up every now and then. Is this Joe Civ? Maybe Sieve? I apologize if I'm not getting the name right there. From the United States Marine Corps. Tom Stamper from the United States Army, a member of the National Guard. Got Dave Evans from the United States Army, also from the Vietnam era.
Oh, I believe that is Dave, the husband of Diane, who helps put this parade on.
Wonderful. Diane always does such a wonderful job. We're thankful to have her put together all the information so we can announce the parade.
We could not do it without her, and I don't think the parade could do it without her.
Linda Swink driving her own, a member of the U.S. Air Force in the Vietnam era. Got Elizabeth Bandea from the United States Marine Corps, Operation Iraqi Freedom and Operation Enduring Freedom. And once again, a special thanks to the Corvette Club of Hamilton, Ohio, because they provide a lot of these Corvettes that you see that our veterans get to ride in. And what a tremendous service that is for them to bring these Corvettes out on a very hot day. We're glad to have them as partners in this parade for sure.
Well, not only the heat, but they've done it in the rain. They've just been there to support our veterans.
Yes, they have. And we've sure had some rainy parades in the past as well.
Weather is always a factor.
Yeah, we've had a couple perfect years.
A couple.
This one a little too hot. Harold Redden, U.S. submarine veteran from World War II, and big old Denali. I've got a big truck, but that thing would run me off the road. Roy Miller from the United States Army.
Did that say the old geezers of Hamilton in the window?
I think it did. Own it, brother.
It's going a little fast at
Just
this
own
point.
it.
So.
Ladies and gentlemen, you won't find a better shot than this one right here. These are members of the United States military coming through in full uniform, waving, saluting, being given a tremendous honor by this entire city and all of our neighboring communities. Gentlemen and ladies, we thank you for your tremendous service to our entire country.
Wow.
Look at this shot, Steve. We got one giving high fives. We got another one pumping up the crowd. He's excited to be here in Hamilton, and we're glad to have him.
And we clap and we stand and we show our appreciation because of that coffin that was draped with the flag that just went by.
Yes, we do. That is a subtle reminder that this is not an easy sacrifice for families to make, but Hamilton has such an undeniable track record of service. Veterans of the foreign wars, post 1069 out of Fairfield here with us. They've got a little patriotic music blaring out of the speakers. Boy, it's got to be loud in there.
I would think so. It's loud out here and we've got headphones on.
I'm picking up every bit of that. Once again, the theme of this year's parade, if you're just now joining us, is celebrating Hamilton's 17 great neighborhoods in the 17 Strong initiative. This is the 56th annual 4th of July parade presented by the Michael J. Colligan Fund at the Hamilton Community Foundation and the 4th of July Committee. We've got American Legion Post 138. Thank you for joining us here today. So glad to have all of you. That trailer, the sun's got to be baking down on it, but they still look happy. They still look involved. I like it. Coming into the square right now is the First United Methodist Church, located on Ludlow Street. Look at this mini vehicle they've got here, Steve. Now that's something they might let you drive.
Well, if they'd let that little girl drive it, hope they'd let me.
Well, once again, qualifications, we're not sure, but that's a pretty cool little vehicle. I like that.
Used to have some cars like that at Americana.
Yes, they did. I wonder if that's where that's from, because now they're refurbing a lot of the materials coming out of Americana.
La Swordsville, as it was called when I was a very young child.
And then it went back to La
Swordsville Lake.
right? Yeah, because it was always Americana when I was growing up. But once again, just for our viewers, as a reminder, I am much, much, much younger.
And there's the
Steve
first spot
Caldwell.
that I'm going to be editing out of our commentary.
If that comes out, folks, I'm out. I won't be back next year. It better stay. Members of the AMVETS post right here with us, carrying flags and a color guard into the square. And a big shout out to the Hamilton Police Department, the Butler County Sheriff's Department. They do a great job of crowd control, keeping everybody safe and keeping the parade moving. As you can look into that shot, folks, you see that there's typically always, I see a squirt gun. There's always crowds encroaching.
Oh,
and
don't shoot the camera.
if they encroach on the wrong side, it makes it difficult. Steve, I know I'm hooked up to about 8 million electrical wires, but I think I'd take it on a day like this.
As long as it doesn't short the camera out, I would definitely take it.
I don't know. It's so hot, I might even be willing to sacrifice the camera.
Are you willing to pay for it?
Not at all. More members of AMVETS post 1983. They're dedicated to helping military members and their veterans. And a float from WMOH 1450 Music Radio.
Some of the old timers listed on there.
Absolutely.
Some more from WMOH.
That's WMOH 70s Music Radio. Current members and former staff alongside the ride.
Now I wonder where Steve Vaughn is. Did you see him going by?
I have not seen Steve. I typically only see Steve in air-conditioned venues,
Yeah,
like the arena at Hamilton. Fort Hamilton Hospital rolling through the square. Now we've got a loud siren coming from somewhere, folks.
Yes.
More members of Fort Hamilton Hospital. I'm just going to let you folks soak this in a little bit. Got a Hamilton community member there on a trike.
I hope she's wearing hearing protection.
So folks, here's the message behind all of that. If you don't move over and get out of the way when an ambulance is behind you, that's on you. Because if you can't hear that coming, we got bigger problems. The man you saw on the tricycle a moment ago, that's Bob Brooks, who's a senior Olympian, 81 years old. He's a former Hamilton teacher who's never too old to play, and we were glad to have him. I see him every year. Bob, thanks again for coming out on a hot day. We've got the Hamilton Police Department. They've got a nice little trailer there, and then we've also got some members of the Hamilton Police Department, and look who it is.
There's Christy Collins and Chief Craig Buchheit.
Chief Buchheit, good to see you here. One of the greatest police chiefs in this entire area, if not the entire country. Municipal Court Judge Dan Gattemeyer. Here's a fan favorite, ladies and gentlemen.
Always walking.
Butler County Recorder Danny Crank. Danny Crank giving TV Hamilton a shout out. Recorder Crank, good to see you here. He's about as patriotic as they get with that outfit every single year. Now look, he's hugging people and kissing babies. Does it get any more political than that?
Shaking babies and kissing hands, is that how it goes?
Something, you're close.
It's the heat, man.
Ladies and gentlemen, get on your feet in your living rooms and in front of your television sets.
Don't stand. Todd.
Yes, I'm gonna stand because this is my alma mater. The Marching Indians out of Fairfield Senior High School. Let's take a listen in. Here it is, Steve. Get on your feet for the fight song. I think I should. Aren't they just spectacular? Ladies and gentlemen, that's the Fairfield High School Marching Band. 294 members of that marching band. That's got to be like half the senior class. We're so glad to have them with us. They took up 4 units throughout this parade.
Well, and I give you ribbing about being from Fairfield, you, me from Hamilton, but it is good to see our communities come together to celebrate on this Independence Day.
You bet it is. And Steve, I'll say this, as much grief as we give one another, it's always been a friendly rivalry. It's never gotten to the point where it's been ugly, and I think that's one of the things that speaks to the character of this entire community. I think these are our Syrian Shriners. This is a Syrian Shrine Antique Caravan. They've got 4 Model T replicas out of Cincinnati. That horn just a little bit quieter than the Kettering ambulance that came through just a few moments ago.
Just a little bit.
Just a little bit. Once again, thanks to the Syrian Shriners for coming out and participating in today's parade. That's always fun for the little kids to see those tiny Model Ts.
And we got some Corvettes down the street coming here.
Yes, they do. Look at these things. Wow, those actually move,
They move
pretty fast.
pretty good.
Get out of the way, folks.
You must have some nitrous oxide on that. What do you think?
He's got something in it, that's for sure.
They're handling pretty tight, too.
They are.
See if I can keep up
Very
with them.
tight. Uh-oh. He's coming a little close to the camera. I'm a little nervous. Uh-oh. Look out.
Is that a game of chicken?
It looked like it. Awfully tight quarters. Uh-oh, here they
There.
go. Who's going to win? Ugh.
Wow.
All right. They're a little more daring than they've been in years past.
They're not doing that in the Model Ts, I'll tell you that much.
So much fun for the youngsters to come out and be able to see this up close and personal. Steve, it was interesting, the Miracle League opening day parade, which is the other parade I participate in throughout the community, they actually brought out a vehicle that was one of those Syrian Shriner hats, but it was huge, and it was actually on a rotating like base, and it had lights on it and everything. It was a really impressive float.
Oh, how cool.
All right, we've got the Presbyterian Church located right here in downtown Hamilton.
No, I thought she had a water gun, too. It looked like bubbles.
I'll take it at this point. Oh, they've got one. They've got a sprayer. Come on, just a little
Just
spray.
don't hit the camera.
Oh, no, she
No.
turned away at the last minute. I tried. Presbyterian Church and the Reverend John Lewis. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, that's John Lewis with a backpack sprayer up in the front. Let's hope he cleaned out all of his weed killer out of that sprayer first. That's got to be a nice relief. Look at this little pup coming through right here. He looks like he could use a couple bowls of water.
Spray him with that.
Yeah.
Well, in the heat are my wife and son who are helping us work today, too. So I hope they don't hold this against me.
Yeah, this is and this is an unpaid assignment for the family,
yes.
I would imagine.
Yes, it is.
We've got the 7 Mile Fire Department. Once again, a couple of loud sirens. 7 Mile's got these modern trucks that somehow still have that antique look to them. I absolutely love those.
We call it retro.
Retro, there it is, there it is. And we've got St. Clair Township and New Miami Life Squad. They've brought a couple ambulances along.
Again, and we say it every year, so nice for neighboring communities to come and join us for our parades.
And it's so wonderful that people recognize the history behind this parade. As we mentioned at the outset, this is 56 years going strong. And the fact that all the neighboring communities just say, you know what, we'll go to Hamilton and we'll participate in that parade there. It's really just a wonderful sign from all of our local communities.
Well, that siren died down about the way I feel right now.
Yeah, this heat is starting to get to me because we are baking. There's no shade where this truck is set up. Steve gets maybe a little bit of shade under the truck, but I'd rather be out. He's in the back of the box truck, where at least I get a little breeze, and occasionally we'll get sprayed by somebody who's not paying much attention. This is the Butler County Regional Transit Authority. You see their buses all over our great county.
Wow, it's a good thing they've got the road blocked off for both lanes with this big farm apparatus coming our way.
Yeah, this is a huge tractor, a John Deere Green. We've got, I believe this is the Niederman family farm, celebrating 70 years of farming. 70 years of farming. The Niederman family farm, always a big host for their annual fall festival. If you've never been out to that.
Oh my, the
it's
donuts.
tremendous.
Have you had their donuts?
I've not. Are
oh,
they?
Goodness.
What flavor donuts?
I don't know.
Do they have, like, the apple cider donuts have got to be my favorite. And if they've got those, I'll be there 7 days a week.
You just need to go and order you some of their donuts.
Okay, I'll take your word for it.
And they are, oh my goodness, they're just outstanding. I bet that thing's air conditioned.
I would hope so. They've got all the windows
Yeah.
shut, so hopefully they've got some relief in there. That's the Niederman family farm, farming in Liberty Township since 1948. Steve, I believe this moves us into our third division of this entire parade because we've got the Boy Scout Honor Guard walking through, displaying the colors. Happy 4th to you as well. So glad to have you here. We've got the Renegades coming through now as well.
Oh, what a cool float we have here.
Wow, look at this one. Now, this is the 17 neighborhoods at its finest. Look at all those tremendous Hamilton landmarks.
The icons,
Richards
Jollies,
Pizza,
Richards.
Clark's, Jollies, Lifespan, the German Village. I wish I could get up and see the other side of this, and they've got Baden High School on the back, the fitness center. Steve, I think that's got to be a contender for the winning float for sure.
Boy, I would think so. A lot of work went into that. How cool.
Great artistic value. All right, ladies and gentlemen, this is our third marching band, the New Miami Marching Vikings. Let's take a listen in. That's the New Miami High School Marching Band, comprised of students in grades 8 through 12 who are marching. And as always, the parents alongside in the back vehicles. And Steve, I tell you what, as you well know, marching band, it's a huge time investment, but think about all the time the parents have to put in lugging their kids around.
It is, and I'm learning very quickly how hard the parent groups work. Of course, I'm limited to Hamilton Highs, but I'm certain all the other band programs have equally strong parent groups.
They all do.
How much
I've
time
seen
they
it.
put into the whole organization.
Yep, yeah, for sure. That was Lindenwold United Methodist Church that just came through the square here in Hamilton. And another church here, Grace United Methodist Church.
With Pac 926, they got a little shade on their float, though.
It's interesting to see all these churches. Last year's theme, if you joined us for the parade last year, was celebrating Hamilton's history of great churches. And it's so great to see all of them back participating again as they do each and every year. I think these are the Hamilton maybe little blue cheerleaders and football players. Wow, they are small, but boy, are they loud.
Small but mighty.
Let's hope the heat knocks them out on the ride home. Maybe they can take a nap and the parents can get a break. We've got some more Hamilton little blue cheerleaders and football players. Got a couple bruisers on there. That one kid's giving me the eye. I don't know if I like it. He's a little scary. He's got a blue mohawk.
It's his game face.
My goodness, I'm terrified. I watch football and I get hurt. I can't imagine what it's like to play. Boy Scouts of America, Troop 926, based out of Hamilton. They are also based at Grace United Methodist. All right, now here's another float that might be a winner, Steve. They've got all 17 neighborhoods represented with the 17 strong logo. 17 equals 1 for our neighborhoods and our city. If I'm not mistaken, That is Scout Pack 924 from Queen of Peace Catholic Church.
Very nice. Oh,
and
check this
Steve,
one out.
Look at this one. Man, they are coming in strong this year. Some more great Hamilton landmarks. They've got a building cutout of each of the neighborhoods, and I believe that's Boy Scout Troop 935. Yes, that is Boy Scout Troop 935 from St. Aloysius Catholic Church in Shandon, Ohio. And then another great float. This is Boy Scout Troop 956 from Hamilton. They're associated with a faith-based group. Isaac Walton League of America along with that group as well.
There's Doug Trimmer of the Trimmer Hardware fame. How I miss that store.
Steve, we've got a little break in the action, so I feel that I need to mention Larry and Josie Timmer, dedicated Scout historians from the historical Scout display. I'm not sure if we've seen them in the parade just yet, but
they'll be coming. They're in this group.
They'll be coming, but I want to mention Larry is 84 years old. So Bob that came through earlier, you still got a few more years to catch Larry. Their granddaughter is marching in her 9th parade. She's 12 years old today. Her name is Sophia, and we'd like to wish Sophia a happy 12th birthday.
Born on the 4th of July. How cool is that?
It's a line from an old song, if I'm not mistaken.
And a pretty good movie.
Once again, folks, if you're at home, look at this stilt walker. Little close call. I think she's starting to wear out.
The heat is taking its toll.
I think the heat's getting the best of her, but man, she's doing a great job.
I wouldn't have made it past the first block.
I would have had to sub somebody in after 5 minutes. I got no balance anyway, but man, she's done tremendous.
I tried my hand at wakeboarding once, and I think I drank more of the river than I was under.
Another float celebrating Hamilton's neighborhoods, and they've got building blocks. That's a smart idea, Lego building blocks. And they're putting them all together, Steve. How creative, into a display that will look like Billy Yank and the cupola that oversees the entire downtown area of Hamilton. That is absolutely stunning. I can't wait to see that one when it's finished. That was American Heritage Girls Group, Ohio 226. And once again, ladies and gentlemen, you are watching TV Hamilton's coverage of the 56th Annual 4th of July Parade, presented by the Michael J. Colligan Fund at the Hamilton Community Foundation. And a special thanks to everybody who makes up the 4th of July Committee. This year's theme, celebrating Hamilton's history with its great neighborhoods. So glad to have you here with us each and every single year. We got a Little League team here. I believe this is Hamilton. The Stars. Look at them, giving a nice little wave to the camera. They're used to the heat. They play all throughout the summer. And our four-legged friend coming through the screen right now has absolutely had enough.
He'd had it. Although that pavement would have to be hot on their pad.
It would. He said, lady, if you want to keep this thing going,
you're going to carry me.
That's on you.
Here comes Bob.
Here's Bob. I knew. Or
Bob
no, this
Wiley.
Is
Bob Wiley.
Yes, Bob Wiley coming through as well.
And this would also be Larry and, is it Joanna that you just talked about?
Yeah, Larry and Josie Timmer.
Josie.
Once again, dedicated Scout historians. There's Larry, a veteran.
Bob said his display is by far the best in the district and rivals most in the state.
Well, we're glad to have him here with us, and once again, a special shout out to to Larry's granddaughter, that is.
Yes.
Marching today on her 12th birthday. Steve, I hear another band coming, my friend.
Looks like Madison.
The Madison Mohawks out of Middletown, Ohio. Madison High School Marching Band directed by Aaron R. West. Let's take a listen in.
getting ready to roll out here, or just the drum cadence? I think just drum cadence.
Steve, it's always one of those things. These parades, when it's hot out, they either go painstakingly slow because everybody's so tired, or people are like, the end is in sight. Let's go ahead and just roll through it. And this one's moving pretty quick.
Yep. I feel like we're shooting the Indy 500 again.
Yeah,
a few times it's been going so fast.
We are in our last division, folks. There's 4 divisions that make up this parade. Those are kind of the inside baseball terms that we use for the groupings here. And we're in the last one, so it was great to see the Madison High School Marching Band kicking off that 4th division, directed by Aaron R. West.
And we've got to give a huge, huge shout out, I don't think we have, to the Hamilton Electric Department, because without them, we'd be a little bit dark.
Yes, we would. They do a tremendous job of setting up the power displays here. We've got the Hamilton Assembly of God coming through. A few that said, just put me in the truck, and a few that said, no, we'll walk it out.
Not only for us, but for all the vendors that are down here around the courthouse. And this morning, as I'm stringing power for our truck, one of the guys came up and handed me a piece of paper with their emergency contact number on it in case there was a problem. And it's, that's just great customer service. They're out here on a blazing hot day.
And they've got a lot to keep up with, too.
Yes, exactly. Dave Spurrier, I don't want to call him old. I call him old every year. Old broadcasting arts teacher driving the Butler County Party, Democratic Party.
So he's the one we've got to blame.
Oh, yes.
Oh, now I know who it is.
Can finally put a face to it.
Okay, all right. All right, Vanessa Enoch, who I believe is a candidate for Congress. Few supporters of Susan Vaughn's campaign as
That
well.
was Dave's wife, Linda, wearing that shirt, actually.
And I believe this is Susan Vaughn marching here.
And another one of my old professors,
Yeah.
John Vaughn, driving that.
John taught me as well. Susan, great to see you. Good luck on the campaign. So glad to have you here. Yeah, John actually taught me in COM
143.
43. Yeah, it was the media and broadcasting intro class.
Taught me everything I know.
Me as well, but folks, don't take it out on John. He was a good teacher.
His reputation just went in the toilet, didn't it?
John was one of those guys, Steve. I don't know how he was when you had him, but he could sit up on a table in front of the class and just tell story after story, and you were completely engaged the entire time that he was telling stories, and he's got a great career in broadcasting.
Now, who is that guy? That's Tyler Bridge.
All right, and our final high school marching band, the Edgewood High School Marching Cougars out of Trenton, Ohio. Let's see what they've got to play. A little hang-on Sloopy for our Buckeye fans who might be here in the Hamilton, Ohio. That is the Edgewood High School Marching Band out of Trenton. Great little float here from Zion Evangelical Lutheran Church. And a live singer, how about that?
2 or 3 of them, actually.
Yeah, really nice. I enjoyed that. Steve, this parade, to me, I don't know about you, it's just the sounds of Americana that just make this all so nostalgic and so beautiful. I love to get here a little bit earlier than I need to, and folks, there's a band that plays right here behind the gazebo, and they play those just patriotic, those kind of pounding, you're a grand old flag, America the Beautiful, all those upbeat stars and stripes type pieces.
That is the Hamilton Concert Band.
Yeah, and you feel like this is what America is, and I always just enjoy that so much, being able to come out and listen to them ahead of time.
The parade is not over yet, just a little gap. I see the end unit. You can see the smoke coming out of it. You talk about Americana, it's the Kitch's Greenhouse Steam Calliope.
A Calliope out of Miamisburg. Last year they did it at the front of the parade, but this year it's
This year
returns
it's
to
bringing
its
up the rear.
final spot, and that's always a highlight of the parade. I really enjoy listening to that. We've got the Right to Life group of Butler County out here with us. And some people getting a little antsy here with the parade. We've got people moving from side to side. Anytime there's a break in the action, you always have people who just ignore the crosswalk, ignore the street signs, ignore the police vehicles that are cruising in
Just
and out.
running out there.
Yeah, say let's see if we can mix things up a little bit. So Butler County Right to Life group advocating adoption as the loving option.
Could they have a large contingent of folks marching?
Yeah,
as
they
well?
do. They always do. It's always a great turnout. Lots of people from the local churches and other community groups here. They've got a couple trailers, it looks like, as well.
I tell you what, I hate to complain, Ty, but I could wring the water out of my shirt right
Yeah,
at this moment.
I'm a little uncomfortable. It's sticky is the right word. I give Jennifer a huge shout out. She bailed me out. I forgot my sunscreen at home. And boy, am I thankful she had some SPF 50 on the fly that I could throw on. So special thanks to Jennifer Colwell.
Yes, or you would be baked at this point.
Yeah, I think I'd be done. Hey, Steve, it's the Lane Public Library Bookmobile. That was one of the highlights when I was a little kid, when the Bookmobile would come to my neighborhood and I could hop on there and just rent all kinds of books and read, and then 2 weeks later it'd be right back and I could get some new ones.
Yep, turn it in and get another batch.
We are so lucky to have a great library here in our community. That's the Lane Public Library, serving Butler County since Steve's year of birth, 1938.
Oh, goodness. We could have went all parade without that comment.
I had to squeeze it in right here at the end. Had to, brother. Had to.
Oh, good singing there going by.
Yeah, they carry a tune much better than I do. All right, now I think we've got the Vineyard Church coming through. Steve, you hear that music up in the distance. This is always one of my favorite additions. If I'm not mistaken, this is probably the Butler Tech Academy of the Arts. I know they usually participate. I actually don't have it here on my sheet.
Well, our paper actually blew off, and one of the folks in the crowd picked it up and grabbed it for us. So I don't even know if you've got the right order at this point.
I may not. Let's take a listen in, and then I'll find out who it is after. And of course, Steve, I was completely wrong. That's the worship band from the New Life Vineyard. They were tremendous. Make sure you go check them out. That's the New Life Vineyard Church. They had a pretty large contingent. Here it is, folks. This is the Kitch Calliope from Miamisburg, Ohio. Let's take a listen. Steve, I believe that was Rocky Top, the
Sure
rendition
was.
from the Kitch Calliope. I saw some Tennessee fans out there clapping away. And we will finish this parade off with the City of Hamilton Police Department. As always, gentlemen, thank you for all you do to keep us safe, and especially on this day, thank you for all you do to make this a spectacular and safe parade. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been TV Hamilton's coverage of the 56th Annual 4th of July Parade, presented by the Michael J. Colligan Fund at the Hamilton Community Foundation and the 4th of July Committee. We are so thankful that you join us here each and every year to make this a spectacular 4th of July. Thanks again for tuning in. I'm Ty Bradshaw.
And I'm Steve Caldwell.
Have a great 4th of July, Hamilton.